All right, so you Corpus people, don't take this so seriously. It's meant to be satirical, but it's partly true. So what's a day look like in the life of somebody who lives in Corpus? That's a question I get asked an awful lot. People always talk about how beautiful Corpus is, and Corpus Christi is a very beautiful place. The fact is, it is a very beautiful place. Now, it's also a very ratty place, too. It's very industrial, not very clean. It used to be called the Sparkling City by the Sea. Now it's called the Crackling City by the Sea. The truth is, there's just not much to Corpus. Now, see, when I was growing up, Corpus used to be a really nice place. It was a great place. You could have a lot of fun down there. Go down there to the beaches, go down there, so Pier, you could go have a lot of fun down there in Corpus. Now it just seems like Florida. I mean, it's Florida without the money and without the taxes and without the bullshit. Now, the problem with this is there's also a lot of people moving to Corpus who, well, let's just say maybe they don't belong in Texas. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but it's true. We always say, don't California my Texas. Really, it's probably more like, don't Florida my Texas. Now, you've heard me compare Corpus to, Detroit, Memphis, Birmingham, Gadsden. You've heard me compare it to a lot of places. And in some ways, it's really true. I mean, the town is dead. There's not much going on there. Hell, the biggest thing that happens to them poor folks down there in Corpus is when a new little fast food chain opens up. Remember when Raising Cane's opened up here a few years ago? There was a line all the way out of SPID, everybody trying to get some damn chicken fingers or whatever. It's the stupidest thing. And Corpus, bless its heart, and poor old people down there in Corpus think they live in paradise. And I can see the comments right now. They're going to try to claim that they live in paradise and that they live in just such a beautiful place. Kind of like Shangri-La, it's like heaven on earth, right? Well, let them think that. That's where they live. Let them think that. But the reality of it is in Corpus. Let's talk about a day in the life. So you wake up in the morning, you go out to your job at the nursing home or the refinery or maybe one of the little fast food restaurants around there or something. Kind of ass around all day. Don't really do a lot. Maybe take your kids to one of the schools or something like that. Maybe you got a doctor's appointment at one of the few doctors that's in town or something, Maybe you go see Granny over at Christus Spawn South or something, which is a good little hospital if you don't need anything major done. Yeah. And then maybe you get bored and you go out, ride out to Flower Bluff. Go out there and ride around the Flower Bluff a little bit. Maybe you just kind of see how that side lives for a while. Or maybe you ride out to the island and you see how that side lives. That's where a little bit more money out there. But, you got the Bluffians out there. They do their own little thing too. Now, cruising up and down Laguna Shores Drive out there in the Bluff, that's pretty nice. That's a nice little drive. It used to be anyway till they put all that bullshit out there. They've been trying to fix Flower Bluff up for a long time. It hadn't quite made it. Probably never will. Yeah, but then you go over there, you could ride out to the beach if you want to go see the beach. That's one good thing about it. Drive your car on the beach, tear it up if you want, go out there and do some donuts, leave some trash out there, whatever people do. It's pretty good for that. There are plenty of fishing spots, good fishing spots down there in Corpus. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fishing down there. You head out to the seashore, you can go out one of the bays there or whatever, it's good fishing. Never have any complaints about going fishing. You can go, what do they call it, kite surfing or something out there in Laguna Madre. If you really won't get that damn water on you, tell them what's in that water. All kind of polluted and everything. It's pretty nasty. You can see all kinds of film and everything else floating on top of the water. I don't know if I'd want to be in it or not. I fell in it one time though. I did. A friend and I were out there on a pier at my father-in-law's place out there on Laguna Shores there in Flower Bluff. We were assing around out there and this old pier kind of collapsed in and I fell in it, got cut on some barnacles and stuff. Luckily, I still got both my legs from it. I didn't get, any kind of infection or anything, or any kind of poisoning from the terrible water out there. Oh, and speaking of water, they trying to get that fixed, okay? So you may or may not have drinking water. Corpus has had some problems with drinking water. They've been known for a lot of pipes to burst, a lot of filters to crack, stuff like that. Corpus Christi water woes. They're trying to put in a desal plant out there, but that's going to cost more money than it's worth, as industry sucks up most of the water out there. In fact, they use more water than actually the residents and stuff do. But yeah, it's pretty crazy when it comes to water. Now you got the Harbor Bridge. They're getting closer to getting that thing fixed. Finally about ready to replace the old one. It's about damn time. It's about 50 years past its life expectancy. Ain't too much out there, but yeah, that'll be the next big thing. You go see the Corpus Christi Hooks play minor league baseball. That's always fun. Really, really good fun down there. You can do that. It's not really a sports town. I mean, they got a little, minor league baseball, minor league soccer team, little old things like that, but nothing too terribly crazy, okay? As far as shopping goes, you got a few Walmarts, a few little knick-knack shops, a lot of nail salons, you got a couple Targets in the general area, little stuff like that. Nothing to really write home about, nothing to really be proud of. There's a few little niche gift shops and stuff like that downtown, but really ain't much. Surprisingly, very little seafood down there in Corpus. They got that one little place downtown there. It's really kind of a shitty place. It ain't too much to it. I think it's Water Street or something. Kind of a gimmick. Food ain't that great. It's like shit that comes from Cisco. A lot of Mexican food down there. A lot of good Mexican food. There's some good Mexican. In fact, there's plenty of it. Never at a loss for some good Mexican food down there in Corpus. Come think of it, that's probably where you're going to eat dinner for a day in the life of Corpus too, really, if you think about it. You're probably just going to go get you some tacos or something. One of the old Mexican food places down there. And then in the evening, you're going to go back to your place and you're going to watch a little TV, catch up on a little bit of the news from the local, I guess you can call it news down there. It ain't too much to it. Just going to be a couple of killings or something. And of course you got the Corpus Christi Caller Times. There ain't much to that either. That's also known as the Corpus Christi Caller Wines. Ain't much to that newspaper. Never really has been for about the past 50 years. And then, Corpus is an interesting town. It's an interesting place. And like I say, kind of walking you through a day in the life of them poor old folks down there in Corpus. We used to make fun of Lubbock, but looks like Lubbock's got more going for it these days than Corpus got going for it. So I guess we're going to have to kind of change it from making fun of the folks out there in Lubbock, you good folks out there, all you Mormons out there in Lubbock. We're going to have to quit making fun of y'all. Start making fun of them poor old saps down there in Corpus that think they got it so good. And they don't have it too terribly bad. They just kind of off down there by themselves, all pissly and forgotten. Well, I guess you can say, you got a university down there. It's at Texas A&M University Corpus. Got a little old community college down there. But the problem is with that, you see, everybody comes down there. A few people come down there to get an education down there at one of the universities. And the ones that can actually leave there and still spell the word education, they leave because they're overly talented for the local workforce and there's no real jobs for them down there. So they leave. I mean, good on you, Corpus, for at least trying. You'll find that Corpus is an incredibly cheap city if you live in Corpus. Now, Corpus is a very cheap town to live in. It's a very, very cheap place to live for coastal, as far as coastal living goes. It's a very cheap place. Certainly not the cheapest place to live in Texas, but it is cheaper than our good old friends over fucking Florida, but it's okay. And definitely, now, there's some little towns outside of Corpus that think very, very, very highly of themselves. Places like Rockport, for instance. Rockport's a very beautiful town, but the folks that like Rockport think a little too much of Rockport, really. I mean, it's cute, it's nice, but dog, man, it's still Rockport. And them folks that live over in GP, that's Gregory Portland for you folks that don't understand this. Them folks that live over in Gregory Portland, goddamn, they think so highly of themselves. When it rains, the few times it rains, they almost drown because their nose is sticking straight up in the air. It's kind of like the island too. So anyway, I know all you Corpus folks, y'all gonna complain about this. Now y'all just take a joke. You live in a very nice place, but it's just me being satirical and a smartass. But it's okay. Just have a little fun, because for too long we've been picking on Lubbock. Well, Lubbock finally got their shit together, and Corpus still trying to figure out what their shit's coming from. So just don't be too hard on me here, Corpus people. All right, I know y'all gonna make your little comments and everything down there, and all you Gregory Portland people gonna think I'm the biggest a-hole in the world for saying y'all got your nose stuck up in there and everything. But look, it's time we lay off a little old Lubbock, because little old Lubbock done figured out that they need to get with the program before they fall over dead. You see, Lubbock was on life support for a long time, and Lubbock was the brunt of everybody's jokes. Well, Corpus, looks like you win that designation now. I guess you're going to be the brunt of all our jokes here in Texas, little old Corpus, the place that everybody loves to visit, but nobody really wants to live there. Unless you do live there and you're trying to convince yourself that it's a great place. I did that for many years. I was in that crowd. So that's my assessment of Corpus. It's partly fact, partly fiction, but it's all the way I see it, okay? So just take it for whatever it is, and you can be ticked off about it if you want. I really don't care. Make your little comments down there in the comment section and everything. But really, a day in the life of Corpus, it's real simple. To sum it up, you wake up in the morning, go to work at the Refinery Nursing Home Hospital or one of the little shacks around there. Stop in there and get you a breakfast taco from one of the little old Mexican food places out there. And you go ass around at work for a little bit and do as little as you can possibly do. And you sit in traffic over on Saratoga for a little while on the south side, because they can't figure out how to make traffic flow in Corpus. And then for lunchtime, when you finally get to a lunch, you can go to one of the many fast food places, or you can go to one of the little Mexican food places around there. And you can make your little old way back to work there, and ass around work for a little bit, doing whatever it is you do. You can go pick the kids up from school, go stop by the taco shack, get you some more tacos for dinner or whatever, get you some Mexican food for dinner. And then you can go home and you can watch a little bit of TV or something if you feel so inclined. You can go right out to the beach, or like I say, you can ride out there to the Laguna Madre and see if you can identify what the sludge is floating on top of the water out there. All the different little colors and stuff look like a rainbow. That's something fun to do if you want to do that. That's my assessment of a day in the life in Corpus. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share, because I know you people from Corpus and all over down there go make a bunch of comments. Go ahead and do it. We'll see. But when you do make a comment, be sure to subscribe.